Of all the crap that gets shared virally on Facebook, you won't believe how much you won't believe this incredible story. And what happens next is even less believable. There's a particular genre that bothers me the most. Pseudo-philosophy. I'm sure you've seen the type. Hey, this quote is in a creative font and it has an artsy photo with a shallow depth of field. That's how you know it's intelligent and deep. A friend shared a quality example with me recently, and I'd like to read it for you now. With the proper Instagram filter, of course. There once was a little boy who had a bad temper. His father gave him a bag of nails and told him that every time he lost his temper, he must hammer a nail into the back of the fence. The first day, the boy had driven 37 nails into the fence. Okay, stop right there. 37 nails in one day. Assuming this kid sleeps normal hours, let's say 8 hours a day. That's 37 times he lost his temper in a 16-hour period, or about once every 25 minutes. At that frequency, this kid is in a perpetual rage and hammer cycle, which sounds more like a psychological condition to me. I'm no professional, but I don't think you treat Tourette's with manual labor. Over the course of the next few weeks, as he learned to control his anger, the number of nails hammered daily gradually dwindled down. He discovered it was easier to hold his temper than to drive those nails into the fence. How could it be easier to fundamentally alter your life habits than it is to put a couple taps on a nail into a fence? Well, fuck, that sure was easy. Ah, shit. Does that count as another anger outburst? Whatever, I'll just put another one in, I guess. And if it is that easy to change your behavior, do you really have an anger problem at all? Finally, the day came when the boy didn't lose his temper at all. He told his father about it, and the father suggested that the boy now pull out one nail for each day that he was able to hold his temper. The days passed, and the young boy was finally able to tell his father that all the nails were gone. The father took his son by the hand and led him to the fence. He said, "You have done well, my son, but look at the holes in the fence. The fence will never be the same. When you say things in anger, they leave a scar just like this one. You can put a knife in a man and draw it out. It won't matter how many times you say, 'I'm sorry,' the wound is still there." The little boy then understood how powerful his words were. He looked up at the father and he said, "I hope you can forgive me, Father, for the holes I put in you." "Of course I can," said the father. Well, that completely contradicts what you just said about the holes being unfillable, but I'm glad this dad wasn't harmed by his child's tendency to act childishly. How stressful it must be for dad to live in a broken home. It's not always anger, it is your actions in general. There are no fresh starts in life. There is no new beginning. Forgiveness comes easy for many people, but the scars of the past, they never go away. Watch what you do today, because sometimes the price isn't worth the reward. The price is not worth the reward. The price is not worth the reward. Okay, so here's the deal. You're always supposed to take on an argument at its strongest point, not whittle away at its weaker points. I get it. We'll get to that. But it's really hard to do that when the argument isn't even coherently phrased. The price is not worth the reward. That's just backwards phrasing. Do I go to the store and say $3 is worth this milk? Do I go to the gas station and say $3 a gallon is worth this fuel? Minimum wage is not worth whoever wrote this piece of crap. But enough of the nitpicky points of bullshit. Let's get to the real substance here. When you say things in anger, you leave a scar just like the nail holes in the fence. Like if you stab a man and then pull the knife out. Okay, I tested this theory and it's just not true. See, if I hammer a nail into the fence, it leaves a hole. That part checks out. But watch this. No matter how badly I lose my temper with this fence or call it mean names, I cannot scar it. You piece of shit. Fence looking all smug, telling people where they can and can't go. And I tried the meanest names I can think of at the loudest decibel levels I can achieve.
Hey, you pussy ass bitch! You try and get in my way one more time and it'll be your fucking last!
Nope. Nothing. My scientific testing is clear. Nails and words do not do the same damage to this fence. Gags aside, I don't have a problem with teaching children to be thoughtful and respectful with their words. That is exactly what I intend to teach my son or my daughter when the time comes. I do, however, have a huge problem with teaching children to fear words, to teach them that words do the same irreparable damage as weapons that do actual physical harm. The supposed wisdom of this bullshit story is that we should fear the power of the nail. We should fear the power of words. Why don't we admire the power of the fence instead? The fence doesn't give a shit. You can be mean to it, you can yell at it, you can put nails in it. It's just here to do its job. Even when it's challenged, even when it's damaged. Why don't we teach children to admire that stoicism? Be thoughtful and respectful with the way you treat others, sure, but when others mistreat you, hold your head up high, stay strong, and remember, they're just words. They only hurt you if you let them. Sticks and stones and nails may indeed break bones, but yell as many words as you want at that fence. You won't knock it over. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate the thoughtful discussion down below and especially over on Twitter. That is at skag_3. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live stream. That is linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.